again. Hello, everyone. Hey, Eternal, Kid, Jakey, how are you today? Hope you had a good start into your Wednesday. Because that's what we're here for today, to have a good start into the Wednesday, I hope. So yeah, what are we gonna do today? On Wednesdays, we look a little at current releases, at anything that's, weird, interesting, noteworthy. And after that, we're gonna hop into Sweet Transit. Hold on, why did this not work? Ignore me for a second, I need to check something. Yep, I broke it. Oh well, I'll unbreak it later. No comment. Yeah, so what are we doing today? We're looking at current releases, and after that, we're gonna take a look at Sweet Transit. If you've never heard of Sweet Transit, just imagine a city builder / transportation game, just that no one ever invented cars or airplanes or ships. It's all trains. That's all that exists in that world. Beautiful game. So we're definitely gonna have some fun with it. And just to give you a little bit of info on what Eternal won, I am working really hard on my chatbot. And one of the things the chatbot was meant to do is not let a kappa through. So, huge letdown, but I gotta work on that. But yeah, let's get to today's releases, as long as I still have time and the Worgen doesn't push me aside. On a minor note though, I do have something that should make Eternal happy.
Earl Grey hot.
There. Yes, it's time that we finally start collecting sound emotes, I suppose.
Earl Grey hot.
I will keep a list of what we have, but until then, you'll just have to live with only memorizing them. Oh yeah, and before we get to that, I still wanted to thank SealessMan1 for a little offline follow yesterday. Oh, I just noticed it didn't actually... I suppose that's an issue with Sammy. If Sammy isn't running, then it doesn't update my follower. That's definitely something to consider. So yeah, thank you for the offline follow that happened after Eternal gave me a really nice shout out yesterday. And thank you for that. I always feel like I should shout you out, but if anyone is in here that doesn't know you, then yeah, I really don't know. Last seen brutally murdering a pooping dog. Don't ask for details. But yeah, let's move on before Moxie comes and pushes me out. I wanted to take a quick look at the most recent releases, and not necessarily at the ones everyone knows or the ones everyone cares about, but the ones that you might not be aware of. So I just collected a few interesting ones. Yeah, I mean, he is really cute. Thank you, Klitsch, for confirming that. So yeah, the first one I found that I thought was really curious is Tiny Civilization. I'm actually just gonna play this trailer here because it explains it really nicely. If you've ever played any of the Match 3 games... Actually, I don't even have the sound on for the trailer. Give me a second. There we go. So if you've ever played any Match 3 games, you know exactly how these work. You match 3 sheep and you get a cow. You match 3 cows and you get whatever else. Just that this is more of a civilization game. So it's more of a... a long-term 10,000-year advancement version of it. I really enjoy the quirkiness of this, so this is definitely on my list. We got to take a closer look at that at some point. Another one I found is Axiom. If you haven't heard of that, you might see that I'm obviously going for games here that have less reviews just because they are less known. This is a free-to-play, really interesting looking cyberpunk style action adventure, and I really liked the soundtrack and the graphics. So yeah, if you haven't heard of Axiom, definitely take a look at that one. And as always, if you haven't joined my Discord, I'm gonna throw the links for all of these in the chat later. So if you miss any, exactly, I'm gonna throw them all in as well. But if you want the links now, I'm also gonna toss them in here. Here's one that I have not understood. There is a whole collection of new sports games and very simple games just being rushed that all look like they should be either VR games or single player games. You know, some of them actually look pretty interesting. So Eternal's faster than me. I should probably do something. So yeah, this did look a little bit like what am I thinking of? The car game. Tiny cars, big balls. Thank you, Rocket League. Yeah, it does feel a bit like someone wanted to mix Rocket League with a soccer game. Really quirky, looks really fun. So yeah, if you're into Rocket League, definitely take a look at that. Well, I'm sorry, they are big balls. I don't know what else you want to call them. Or here, if you're a bird or a bat, here's a game that only has a single review, and that is a very positive review. Sky Rats. We actually make this a bit bigger so you can see this.
Avion City, home to over 2 million birds fighting for their piece of the sky in Sky Rats, a game that combines old school flight combat with modern multiplayer action. Choose your hero and hunt for a variety of special weapons, armor, and items.
Another one of those really quirky games, essentially a flying battle royale game. 99 cents if you have any interest in that. Now, given it only has a single review, I'm not sure how active it is. But yeah, I mean, it looks like it's a lot of fun. If you're interested, 99 cents, keep an eye on it. Yeah, I think you see where this already goes. Look, elves. I just kept this in because I know we have a lot of people that love elves. If you ever wanted an elf jigsaw puzzle, here you go. Then, yes, we're quickly moving on. No one cared about that. Mini Star Bakery is another really cute game that I stumbled across. It looks like an adventure game, but it's essentially a bakery game that lasts about 20 hours for a playthrough, with story, with extremely adorable characters. I mean, I think you can already see what I was talking about. Like I said, another game that just didn't get enough attention because, let's face it, Steam has so many games, so many new games that always come out that you can't keep track of them. And I wouldn't be surprised if you look at these characters. They look more like Benuis, but I'm pretty sure there are Fox Boys in there. And this Proto-Chen Chocobo, I'll take it. I'll take a Proto-Chen Chocobo. So yeah, definitely. Mini Star Bakery, another game to keep on your list. As much as the scientifically accurate Dinosaur Mating Simulator 2022 American Revolution 1775 to 1786. Here, just so you don't have to search it. Yes, this is a dinosaur dating game. If you're for the real quirky stuff and you don't know how the American Revolution had to do with the Tyrannosaurus and the fact that this trailer would have been more involved, but he got his COVID-19 booster. If that's your humor, here's another game for 99 cents that only has a single review. How can you go wrong with 99 cents? And I mean, that review is good. So I can't tell you how good the story is, but I'll take it. And until then, we'll just have to play the Squirrel Launcher. Do you all remember this? I'm gonna lower the volume here a bit. This quirky Flash game ages ago of sending, was it a hedgehog into space? This is kind of what this reminded me of. This is a Flash game that made it all the way to Steam. Shooting a squirrel into space. Yeah, it's true. It was a whole genre in the end. But yeah, another free game if you ever needed to spend a few minutes of your day doing something quirky. I mean, there are some reviews here that have up to 4 hours. Those are mostly the achievement hunters that couldn't figure out how to get the last achievement. So if you're an achievement hunter or you want a free game and you don't want to beat animals, yes, these games you see pop up on Steam left and right. The only reason I have this up here is because it has one of the best game descriptions ever. Just avoid the herd. It is a very interesting dodge and shooting game. In this game, you can experience a very awesome shooting effect, because it's shooting pizzas, I suppose. And it can also bring you a very interesting fighting experience. Every shot in the game is a test of your technology. Let's fight together. Yeah, probably, especially if you look at the publisher and the fact that then 2 more $6.99 games came out called Cut Fruit, from the publisher Cut Fruit. Yes, this is like the laziest version of a Fruit Ninja you could have ever programmed. But hey, you can also play football. Amazing, isn't it? Love it. Looks like we have to hurry a little. So, One Night at Barney's 3. This I just had to add because with games like this, I'm always mildly surprised that they are not getting into trouble. This is, I mean, it openly admits it's a Five Nights at Freddy's clone for someone that really didn't like Barney or thought Barney is scary. And it has a full intro. I love it. Just the aesthetic of this. How can you not love this?
Barney has just been placed in one of Blackville's top security facilities, where he has absolutely no chance of escaping.
Yeah. If you're a Five Nights at Freddy's fan and you feel like you need to kill Barney, here's another free-to-play game. Also, another demo I came across. Yeah, I'm speeding it up a little so we still can get through. I feel like I need to ask Moxie for a little bit more time here. But Dystopia. I added this because how can I not add a game with a soundtrack like this? I mean, and it's a game about quitting your job. I mean, what else does it have to say? So yeah, another quirky game if you're looking for a very old school jump and run experience. Take a look. What you shouldn't take a look at is the recent flush of backroom games that are coming. I actually added this because it's just such a, yes, it's a jump and run. Such an interesting game because it has a relatively good trailer and is mostly negatively reviewed. And then you see why. Because the trailer is literally stolen from a different backroom game that wasn't shit. So this is the stuff that gets through Steam. Like, you literally steal trailers. Even these screenshots, my understanding, all stolen. The game has nothing to do with this. So yeah, Backrooms, another wonderful game on the list that I don't get. And then I came across this, a computer keyboard trainer. I'm gonna hold up here. A very curious one for a simple reason. This is the soundtrack they picked for the trailer. So if you need a metal as fuck keyboard trainer, I can't promise that you will have this soundtrack in the trailer itself, but hey, you learn how to type. Another one that I just had to add because, oh my god, look at how cute this is a game where you collect fluff balls that are loose and fill them into jars. If you're a fan of stuff like unpacking and you just need something relaxing and you don't need to learn how to type, take a look at Fluff. That week, this I thought was really interesting. On January 6th, we got an unofficial, story-driven add-on for Half-Life 2. This is a community-made mod, still for Half-Life 2. And reviews are amazing. So if you ever feel like you want to play an old-school shooter, but you remember all the shit you've already played, take a look at Evacuation. Or, if you're a fox and you're interested in something really cute, here is a very old-school jump and run of being just a fox. Has really good reviews, I don't know why oh my god, why did the timer restart? The timer is at 0. We just assume the timer is at 0. I gotta fix that later. So let's just talk about the last game I came across. And yes, there's a beautiful fox jump and run. Is Don't Kill the Cat. This is a VR game. So the only one I actually have on the list here. A game where your only goal is to not kill the cat. I mean, it's a nice change for once. Essentially a physics simulation where you try to get a cat out of a laboratory without brutally murdering it. So if you like those quirky VR titles, I mean, as always, VR titles are always a little bit more expensive, but $13 for pointing laser pointers at cats and not getting them killed. I think that's worth it. But, well, I've reached the end of my time. I've actually reached it a few minutes ago. So you know what that means? It's time to switch over to Moxie. And just to answer the obvious question, is Yetta gonna stay around? I don't know. I feel bad because, let's face it, Moxie's model, the Worgen, is just so much superior. It looks better, it smiles better, it blabs better. I feel bad, sending Moxie home, sending Yetta home, but I feel like at some point she's probably gonna just become a redeem. So if you ever want to redeem an old avatar, that's probably where it's gonna go. But yeah, now that I'm here, let's first of all turn the music back on while I'm still here. And it smells better. I mean, you never know. Moxie smells better than a hyena, I'm sure. I smell like cotton candy. Yeah, the smile is much better. I mean, come on, even the sadness is better. Okay, now this is an interesting one. Use 5 to 10 numbers to describe yourself. I feel like that's a typical job application question. Like, this is a question where you need to go out of the way to think differently. Yeah, no, I feel like they are not banned, but if you use 69 or 420, you're probably not getting the job. Whatever job it is. For your math class, use 5 to 10 numbers to describe yourself. Yeah, I mean, I would probably start with something typical like my size in centimeters, since that's a single number and not two numbers like the typical American would do. I imagine like size, weight, those are the obvious ones that they probably want in a math class. I'm not sure. That's something the teacher would expect you to say in front of a class, though. Now, I like this question. That's a really good question. Age, size, weight. I mean, after that, the only thing I can imagine is going towards stuff like, well, if you're American, your credit score, of course, because that's after your size, weight, and age. That's your fourth most important measurement. Your credit score, of course. I mean, if you're Chinese, it's the same. It's just your social score, I suppose. Nah, I really like this. This is a good one. I'm curious what answer you'll submit. Definitely let me know. I'd love to know. But it is time to switch over to our game. And, well, you know what that means. I need to make room. So let's move. There. No idea why that didn't stop correctly. I feel like half the stuff isn't working again today, but it's working. It's getting better. So yeah, what are we playing today? I briefly mentioned it earlier. We're playing. No, those are my antlers. Go away. You can have tea. There, have some tea.
Tea, Earl Grey, hot.
Sweet Transit. Like I said, imagine a city builder. But then imagine a transport tycoon in music choice and style. And no one ever invented anything but trains. Love the game. You can actually play in Paris. Paris is actually just a pre-made map. We want a randomly generated map. First things first, we can make the map bigger. And then it re-renders. I usually do a little bit less water because especially on a large map, it feels like this is just a bit too much water. Yeah, I'm not surprised, Jakey. I'm not surprised that people don't understand that assignment. If you ask someone a non-direct question, they will get confused. That's just what people do. Hey, Avantlaws. Didn't even see you come in. How are you? Yeah, always. Biggest map is the most important thing. Let's see. Do we want... I think that's actually a good mountain coverage. We have a nice big... I want the water a bit better spread. Let's try a few more. Oh, that's nice. That is a weird... I'm not sure I would call this a river. Since it goes through the desert here, but that is a really interesting map. I like that. And you can see you can do a few more adjustments here to just modify the map, but I think I'm really okay with that. We're gonna keep it on default difficulty. I saw no problem with that. It's relatively easy in the start. You just gotta make sure to not, expand too vertically, like how these games often do it. So let's hop on in. Yeah, like I said, Shaky, it's ask a complicated question and everyone's gonna be confused. I feel like in math, everyone expects that everything is straightforward, everything needs to have one solution only, and if not, people get confused. So let's take a look at our map, and I think you can already see what I meant with a really cozy stylistic appearance. This just looks really relaxing. It's kind of what most train games are for me. And I'm always a fan of unlimited zoom, just being able to see I'm sorry, that made me laugh, Shaky. Oh, Katna, hey, how are you? Yeah, I was still explaining the map. How are you today? Welcome to the stream. And yeah, I suppose if your decree is about reading, then I feel like that is actually a much better question now. But yeah, let's take a look at what we have here. So over here, you see our coal resources. Over here, you see our iron resources. Those are the two that are relevant for us in the beginning. So what we want to do is we want to settle somewhere in the middle. What's this? Oh, that's another iron. Then what's this? Oh, that's clay. Yeah. Now I think settling... Oh, well. Welcome in, Katna's friend. So what movie are you watching? Oh, hold on. Sorry about that. Yeah, welcome in. Come on in. Make yourself comfortable. I'm just a nerd playing games and talking about games. I think this is a really nice central area. So what we're gonna do is the first thing, we have to build a warehouse. If we don't build a warehouse, we can't do anything else. And the warehouse is essentially our central location on the map. So we can only build one, and it has a limited capacity. But anything in the warehouse is used to build. So, yep. All the tutorial pop-ups. So we now want to see that we're in a nice central spot. And you can see the range. In this range, you can essentially access the warehouse as long as you connect it via street. There. Now, the second thing we need, because without workers, you're not gonna get resources, is we need a city. Let's see, where are we gonna put our city? Now, warehouse and city don't need to be close together. It's actually beneficial if you can keep them apart a bit. And if you place the city center, it also should be in range of water, since you do want to make sure that people have food. So let's see. Yeah, I think that's a nice spot. Let's put our city center right here. So now we have a village hall. Yeah, I'm not sure I want to call my city Moroni. Yeah, Moxie, that works. Okay. Now let's keep track of where we are. But yeah, I'm still... Let me know what movie, Katna. I'm definitely curious. Okay, so here we have our city. The first thing I want to do is build some streets around. And then we just need to place a few houses. Actually, let me extend that street so it's orderly. No. Go away. Yeah, let's see. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, let's build a dozen here. You can see, if you've ever built a city builder, you know this so well. We connect it to streets and everyone is happy. So yeah, so far nothing unusual. These houses, we can have up to 5. So with a dozen houses, we have 60 people. Yeah, math right. And then, because people are very unhappy when they are dying, which is generally an issue, we need to give them water supply and a fishing dock. And with that, we have the emergency stuff done. Now we just need to give the fishing dock a small storage. Like I said, if you've ever built a transportation game or city builder, you've seen all of this. So now we have a fisher here that collects fish, drops it off in the storage, and any storage can access, well, any storage that's connected via street can then access the fish, and our people are no longer starving. And now you can see we already have 15 people in a house, so we have our workforce ready. And for the workforce, you can actually see it up here, that we currently have 73 people, so we can keep a little bit of track of how many people we employ. Okay, now the second step is coal. Because, surprise, without coal, your train is not going to go anywhere. At least not for long. Maybe downhill. Let's see. I feel like... Yeah, I feel like if we go over here and pick up this coal first... Of course he's a fox. I mean, I could show a proof, but... If you want to see the proof, just join the Discord. Here. I'll put the Discord in. And yes, go ahead, join the Discord. You will see indisputable proof. Oh, and yeah, I mean, that's true. They actually used wood in a lot of places for trains when they had to. Unfortunately, not an option here, which is a bit annoying. If you run out of coal, your train will just be extremely slow. Very bad. But I would say let's start with this. We have 3 coal deposits here. So we're gonna... let's start over here. I'm gonna place a coal mine here. This is difficult. So, one thing that's a problem is that when we only have a coal mine and we then build a train station against it, we need still this direct connection. So we would need an extra building called a supply depot. I don't think I have that yet even. Do I? Oh no, yeah, distribution center. So a distribution center allows you to move goods without a train. So say if I place a distribution center here, actually let's do that about here. And build 2 coal mines. Where are we? There's the coal mine. 1 here. Actually, let's only build 1 for now. But that way we can expand to this one. So now what I need to do is I need to build a street from my distribution center to the coal mine. So they can get the coal over. And I need to build a train station. I have a severe issue here with never finding... Oh yeah, there it is. With never finding the right building. I feel like the one issue here is that these buildings all look too identical and there is very little that identifies them. So I always search for the correct house. But yeah, a small station. Let's put it here. And then I'm just skipping through the tutorials since it's a lot easier to just explain like this. And the only thing a station needs so a train can stop is the platform. So we're gonna put a platform. Yeah, 10 looks good. And another platform here. And then we connect these 2. Yes, you can see where this is going. We put 2 rails through and now we have a beautiful, simple train station. Okay, and now let's see where we are. So we need to get over here. So I would say let's build this train station first. This one we can just connect directly to the warehouse. I love this soundtrack. It feels very Transport Tycoon. Let's actually clean out the things we've done. You see the progress up here for the unlock list is actually really well done, because it essentially just guides you through. Yeah, I know. There's just something about listening to this music as MIDI. I miss it too. Oh. I feel like we should get the Transport Tycoon MIDI playlist for Friday. But yeah, in the progression list, you can see that it works a little bit like a tutorial. It just unlocks each step, so it holds your hand a little. But I'm not quite doing it in that order, because I like my things in different orders. What I'm actually gonna do here is I'm gonna put a 12 long in the middle, because I just want it to look a little bit nicer. So that means we now... Workers and Resources, love the game. Yeah, Workers and Resources, Soviet Republic is an amazing game. It's tough, it's brutal, it has a horrible tutorial, it's not good at teaching you how it works, but it is really fun at making you horribly fail each time you fail at it. I love the game. I'm looking forward to a few more patches first, because I haven't played it in like 2 or 3 years, so I'm definitely looking forward to it. But yeah, beautiful game. I just highly suggest, if you aren't one that enjoys failing around every corner, to watch some tutorials. There are some really, really good video tutorials. Okay. So now I want to first... Yeah, let's first put one here. And you can see in the way the building here works that it's very user-friendly. That's actually one of the things that I really like about this game. It didn't complicate the rail building. It just lets you drag and drop. Now, traffic lights, same signals that you have in every other game. If you don't know how they work, it's very straightforward. You have a default signal, and you have a chain signal that only turns green if the following signal is green. So for example, if I put 2 chain signals here, then as the first train passes, this would turn red until this is green. Well, that's pretty much all it does. And a big benefit of the chain signals, if you put them the other way around, see, if I put it here, is that at a chain signal, the train will reconsider where it goes. So say the first train comes in and drives here and blocks this. As the second train approaches, it will then reconsider and use this, even if it originally wanted to go here. So it's just a really, really nice way to start this. I have to admit, I haven't heard of the cosmonaut mode issue. But like I said, I haven't played it in about 2 years. The last time I played it, they just put in the nuclear power plants. I might have blown up my city, more or less. It wasn't very successful, but that's the only thing that I actually did in it. Oh, Jakey, oh, Jakey. Maybe that tells you something about the fact that the class of learning how to read in the year 2023 is still important. Let's connect these two here, and I'm actually gonna follow this, so I'm gonna put 1 chain signal here to lead in, and then here we put 2 chain signals to lead out. Where did the second go? There. So now we have our train station that goes this way and this way. And yes, I'll just apologize while Eternal is gone. Yes, they are driving on the right side. Oh wow, Jake, that is just so sad. It's... I'm not even sure what to say about that. I'm definitely curious. I'm gonna read into it more because I'm curious exactly what happened or what was said. But yeah, that is just... You have these small little indie developers that sometimes barely survive. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, the developer of Soviet Republic is Eastern European? I remember reading it and I don't remember what it was, but I just remember that they said that they are not currently affected by the war going on. But never know how things go. Okay, and now we do the same here. We put one chain signal here, and then one normal on each side, so the train can drive through this. Oh wait, no. Those need to be chains. There we go. And this needs to be a normal. And now we just need to connect. So, no, this one. Now let's see. Yeah, let's see if we can just move it to here. And then connect these two. Okay, let's see what we got. Yeah, that goes all the way over here. Over here, we've got a little hiccup here. And then into the train station. And now what I would usually do is I would lead this back around and then merge with the original so we can save the track. But since I also plan to put more coal in, I think we're gonna do the extra expense right away to actually turn this into a circle. That just makes it a lot more user-friendly, so I don't have to deal with too many one-way signals. And it has another benefit, since, as I said before, everything you do in this game is via trains. You want to start building big. You don't want to make a tight route and then later on notice that you have no room to expand. Nah. Rather, I let them drive a little bit longer. The other one we're just gonna ignore for now. Okay, second, because as I said, if no one's working, we don't get anything done. So we also need a train station down here. Now let's see, how do we do this one? Like maybe here? Now I think I'm gonna drive the train straight through the city. I think that's... Welcome back, Eternal! Oh, I forgot, I do have head pads for myself. There. I should have made a new group for that. Because now I have the head pads and the SWAT on the same. Still love it. No, head pads. I want the head pads. Oh, okay. Okay, no head pads. Well, I mean, you're not a fox, are you? If you admit you're a fox and you get all the head pads, that's how it works. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna put it right here in the middle of the city. And then just build around it. I'm gonna do the same here. And pull the stop out a little. Just because I feel like this is a more visually appealing approach. Even if that means that everyone who wants to take a train has to take the stairs. I know it's not a very movement impaired friendly society. Let's make them a bit longer. Then merge them up. Same as before. Yes, we're nearly at the point where we can send the first trains out. In a nice bow, so we can have room to expand the city here. And then we just need to make it all the way up here. Let's see if we just go straight. Yeah, let's just go straight up. Since they don't need to go to the warehouse, they just need to go to the coal mine for now. And then let's bring this over here. Now the only problem is this needs to go and merge with the other one. I don't have bridges, do I? No, I only have a bridge for water at this point. I don't have a normal bridge. No. You know what we're gonna do? Yep, we're gonna switch this around. I'm gonna drive it the other way around. Yeah, let's redo this. This looks... There we go. And then let's remove this part. There we go. I think that's working a lot better because now we just need to turn these signals around. So let's first remove them all. Dang. One on each side, and then at the exit, a chain. Oops, nope. You are on the wrong side. And a normal. There we go. So now, because now this one merges here and not here. Then goes all the way down to the city. That means it comes in here. Leaves here. And then drives up. Okay, and now yep, because now this one actually gets its own track. Since tracks don't cost maintenance, don't ask me why. I'll take that as a free gift. In most of these games, they usually cost maintenance, and it's nice when they don't. So, when you say a cream egg, what's a cream egg? Because in my head, you now have a chocolate egg filled with like a praline cream. That's the only thing that I can imagine under the term cream egg. Yes, that looks good. Look at that. Okay, yeah, that's what I imagined. Fondant. Fondant. Fondant? Fondant. Probably fondant. I assume it's French. But yeah, that's fondant. I mean, we have someone in here that, you know, could confirm. Is the food ant French. Okay, now I feel like because we've switched everything around, I have to make sure that I now don't have any dead ends. First, let's clean up here. Okay, so they drive through here, all the way around, come up here, and in. Actually, let's make this a bit smarter. Let's put a chain here and here. That way they only drive through if they can go into the train station, so we don't have anyone block the intersection here. Just feels nicer. Okay, and then they drive all the way over here, either into the warehouse or down, down, down into the city and then back up and around and back in here. Okay, so so those are all done. So now all we have to do is we have to spread out the traffic lights, because right now, if you know anything about Twitch Turbo is... It's like Twitch figured out that they need more money. It's been around a while. It's essentially, if you have Twitch Turbo, then it's like you have a subscription to everyone, but no one gets money from you but Twitch. That's kind of how it works. So you don't see commercials, and if you're a streamer, your VODs stay online longer. But in return, you literally just pay Twitch. So it's just a subscription to Twitch. I mean, it is definitely nice because for one fee, you no longer see ads on all those other channels. And in all fairness, Twitch takes so much from the subscriptions that I sometimes feel like just get Twitch Turbo and just, I don't know, Ko-fi support those that you support, or Patreon, or if you feel like giving them something. I always feel like a Twitch subscription, the only reason to really subscribe on Twitch is to promote a channel. If you subscribe on Twitch, then Twitch will do more promotion for that channel. That's like where it is in my head. Is it really that way? I actually doubt it. I don't think Twitch cares how many subscriptions you have or does anything different until you're a partner. But I think that's pretty much it. So, to get back to the blocks, if you know any of these train games, or, roller coaster games, same story, then you know how the sections work. So you can see that right now, for example, this is one section because it's separated by 2 traffic lights. This is one section, and then all of this is one section. Of course, I don't want this because right now, as long as a train is anywhere on here, no other train would be allowed to leave the station. But this game has a wonderful feature. You just drag and drop the tiles that you want between the signals, and poof. Look at that. Yep, we made it all the way here. That looks perfect. Now we do the same here. 5 apart. That leads us all the way to the intersection. Very nice too. After the intersection, we continue here and here. So that actually completes our warehouse. Then we just gotta go down to the city and do another 5 here. That brings us all the way around. So now that we have everything set up, and yeah, 100% Eternal, I agree, 100%. The most you can do, the most you can help someone is be around, be active, chat with them. Let's face it, there's nothing worse than sitting here for 3 or 4 hours and playing your game and talking to no one. It's... a lot of people can do it, and I often see streamers that do it, but yeah, if that depresses you, that's no surprise, because in the end, we're not here to entertain ourselves. Let's just be honest. We're here for whatever reason, because we're socially anxious, because we have ADHD, because we don't want to leave the house, because we can't leave the house, because I don't know, maybe, you know, whatever reason, and I'm always happy to dance, but yeah, whatever reason keeps you inside, Twitch has brought something to us that just allows us to interact with each other and, you know, have a great time with each other. And I can't be thankful enough for that. Not having streamed for a good half year, I missed it. I started to grow really depressive towards the end of last year because I just wanted to get back to it. So if you're not doing it, give it a try. Absolutely give it a try. If you're not streaming, if that is something that you think you would enjoy, do it. Well, I mean, in all fairness, I think pretty much everyone in here has tried streaming at some point, or correct me if I'm wrong. And yeah, thank you, Avant Laws. It feels good being back. I mean, look at me. I've got a face for radio. Now I just need a voice for radio. Anyway, let's build a depot. And you can only have a single depot, but you can extend the length later on to build longer trains. So you want to make sure you build it somewhere where you have room. Oh, this is gonna be ugly, isn't it? Because we can only build it diagonally. This looks really... Well, let's build the longest we can. Right now that's 10. I just make sure that we actually can build the max length later. There. Hey, it always depends on which radio. You have a voice for the emergency broadcast. There. Okay, so now we need to just lead it out here. And lead it out here so they can leave in both directions and enter in both directions. And what we're gonna do is... Yeah, I'm gonna place 2 normal signals here, just so this is separated. I mean, I don't expect that so many trains are gonna come out of this that we need to manage that further. This music is really catchy. I hope it's loud enough. No, don't duplicate me. My voice is so unique. It doesn't need to be a second. And just for those that weren't here on Monday, once we are up to 50 followers, so 15 more, and we have redemptions, I'm actually gonna put a German class in. So if you ever wanted to learn what Lederhosen actually means or how to pronounce Donaudampfschifffahrtskapitänsgesellschaft, then I will teach you. And yes, that was a real word. Donaudampfschifffahrtskapitänsgesellschaft. Yes, that's one word. Yeah, I'll even spell it out for you. There. That's your first lesson. You go practice that word. Donaudampfschifffahrtsgesellschaft. Now. Exactly. Very, very famous word because it once was it was a joke word, essentially. It's a joke word for the captain of a Danube. I actually don't know how to pronounce that in English. River steamship. Unfortunately, that word was replaced by, and I will actually copy this because I am not typing this whole thing. This is now the official new longest German word in existence. It's the Rinderkennzeichnungs- und Rindfleischetikettierungsüberwachungsaufgabenübertragungsgesetz. Yes, I'll say that again. Rinderkennzeichnungs- und Rindfleischetikettierungsüberwachungsaufgabenübertragungsgesetz. And essentially, I'm gonna read the translation here, means cattle marking and beef labeling supervision duties delegation law. And if you think I'm kidding, here's the Wikipedia entry. Yes, this has a Wikipedia entry because it is a law that was put in place and everyone made fun of because it makes use of how in German you can essentially make unlimited length words. I mean, it's just how German works. I'll leave that to Kit. Kit, perfect Welsh pronunciations. Just remind him during his next stream. He's like secretly a Welsh cat. Though I do remember coming across that YouTube video where was it like a weatherman or something, a news broadcaster was pronouncing it so spot on that he just like dropped the mic. Now, why I'm saying this is because Kit was actually the only person I ever knew that still knows what the volcano was called. The Djöllafjölludalur. What was it? I'll pronounce Hungarian words and I pronounce German words. If you want to throw that at me, I can pronounce that. Welsh, I'm gonna stay out. Okay. Now, we've been playing this game for over an hour and we haven't done shit. We gotta build trains. It's time to finally have trains. So right now we only have one locomotive, a steam locomotive that is not very strong, fueled by coal. Second thing every train needs is a coal tender. Because if you don't have a coal tender, you have very, very little fuel. I mean, you can see... Actually, let me see, does it say? They don't get very far. Hey, what's wrong with the German building trains? I mean, I never heard an issue with German building trains. There was just a not very good issue with Germans putting, people in trains. But, I mean, we built good trains. Fun fact, the train in Denver is German built. It's a Siemens train. Siemens actually flew engineers to Denver to install a German light rail. So, there you go. Yeah, we need a coal tender, otherwise the train is not gonna make it far. And then we need passengers. And let me double check, but if I'm not mistaken, yeah, we need 40. Also, I just saw we still can build this expansion. This expansion allows us to store 100 extra coal for each. So now they can store an overall of 600 coal here. Then the distribution center stores 800 and the train station stores 200, but only as fuel. Okay, so we need 40 people. So yeah, we only need one passenger train for the 40. Then we need a second train with coal tender, and that one needs to transport the coal. Let's give that 4, and let's actually make a copy of that right away. So we have enough. Now we just gotta tell them where they need to go. So our first route we call human resources, coal. And our second route we call just coal to warehouse. Let's just make it that simple. Yes. Jakey, yes. I played, Train Fever was the one before. I played Transport Fever. I always fail horribly. I actually can't tell you why. I always start in the earliest, because that's what I do. I always start at the beginning of time, when you literally only have horse carts. and then I built something that makes money, but in the end it doesn't make money. I feel like the only way to really play that game is to start later and start with trains. But yeah, a coal tender, God, just give me a week as a coal tender. I don't think I would ever have to do anything else again for fitness. But we now have our 2 routes. Played them all. I would challenge you, Shaky, to mention a transportation or city builder game I haven't played. Sid Meier's Railroads, I hated it. I disliked how simplistic it was compared to his earlier games. I mean, Sid Meier's Transport Tycoon is, in my opinion, still one of the best transport games ever made. Period. It's OpenTTD, its open source successor, is a must-have for any transportation fan. It's just what it is. It's the game. I don't know where we would be today if Transport Tycoon Deluxe would have never come out. I don't know what I would have done with 2 years of my life. Okay, so the coal needs to go from coal mine to warehouse. And we can now see how it marks the track, so that looks perfect. HR needs to go from Moxie to the coal mine. And that is also a perfect route. So now we just gotta... Let's get you started first, because if no one works... no one's gonna make coal. Look at the train. There we go. And I'll be honest with you, I don't see any reason for Transport Tycoon to... It's... like, I feel weird about Transport Tycoon because it is one of the most important games, but I feel like if you play it today, why? Like, just play OpenTTD. You need Transport Tycoon if you want the original graphics and music and sounds in OpenTTD, since that's where it imports it from. But yeah, I'll be honest with you, with what OpenTTD offers and has and all the things it can do, I feel like Transport Tycoon just has no room anymore, unfortunately. It's still one of the most important games ever made. Yeah, I love the way the trains are made here. I think... yeah, they are 3-dimensional. There we go. Now it stops at the... no, it doesn't stop at the coal mine, because why would it? It doesn't have people. And one important part to understand for people is that they do get tired, they do get exhausted. So this train essentially now drives back to the city, picks up more people. Let's speed this up a little. Whee! There we go. So now it loads in the people that are waiting here. 40 of them. There we go. And then we whoosh off to the coal mine. And one thing I really enjoy about this game is the way it handles blocks. Actually, I'm going to pause here for a second. Is you can see that usually in these games they only calculate the next block. But in this case, the next traffic light is already blocked to make sure that the train doesn't have to brake. So it will actually slow the train down as it does in real life when the following traffic light is red. It's one of those little details that makes me feel like someone really put effort into this game. Now there we go, our first 40 people, and we're at 24% fuel, so we're already running into issues here. Now, this warning should disappear. Yep, there we go. Now, they are producing coal. Let's see, this is a bit uncomfortable. Oh, okay, it got a little bit of fuel, so it essentially just loaded the fuel that was already being produced. Now this goes back empty, picks up new people, and then allows the people here that are getting exhausted to go home. That means now we just gotta switch these two on. Coal to warehouse. There we go. Let's follow you to make sure everything works out. Why is Chaz so interconnected with transportation games? Is it just Transport Tycoon? Is that the origin? Ah, there we go, and already got some coal. Not a whole lot, I assume. Oh no, 27 of 50, so that's a good first run. And here you can see how the chain signal works. So the second train is now on the second stop. And then leaves immediately. I don't like that. Here. So yeah, it left immediately because there was no coal done. So you know what? Let's not... Oh no, let's do until done or 30 seconds. Yeah, that's a good idea. Just so they don't just drive through, they come right after each other. You know what? I could also pause this here and spread them a little. There, that looks good. Oh, there's a... No? Play. There. Yeah, I think that looks a lot better. So now... See, are they getting exhausted? Don't think we need a second train for the workers. Like, you do need a second train if the path is really long, but this looks okay. See, where's our passenger train? Up, they're getting tired now. And what happens when they get tired is that your workforce simply drops. So they don't stop working, they work less because they want to go home. Oh, that's why it's so slow. So yeah, now we're having exactly this issue. This one ran out of steam, literally, and it's just dragging along. But the next time it arrives here, that should be resolved because this should be well refilled. So let's speed it up while it crawls all the way here. My god, look at that speed. Yeah, it's not too bad. So, yeah, 86%. I don't think it will ever take that long again because this should now be fully refilled. Let's see. First, it's replacing the people, so I now have 40 exhausted people in here. So that just means these people will only get out of the city, and yeah, the fuel is full, so... Let's see how smooth this runs, but I think this is our first setup now. And this is actually an issue that you run into relatively soon that we now have to start thinking about, because as you just noticed, this vehicle ran out of coal, and it only refills coal at a train station that has coal. Spoiler. For example, the city down here doesn't have coal because, well, yeah, I don't produce coal down there. So if I say have something that only delivers from an unconnected location to the city, I need to find a way to get coal to that train as well. I mean, right now that's why it's so easy, because we only deliver to coal. But since my next step is to produce wood, this now becomes a consideration. And I think what I'm gonna do Let's see, dirty coal in a dirty train. See, these are the songs you'd expect in a game like that. Yeah, I think I'm gonna put the forest sawmill. I can't build it inside the warehouse area, but I think if I build it over here, then I can easily loop it in with the city to get my workforce, and I can loop it in with the warehouse. Yeah, I think that's a good spot. So, same story as with the coal, just that now we build our own tree nursery. Actually, let's first build the wood storage behind the house. There we go. And then connect the forest here. Yeah, let's start like this. And then spread it out. Yeah, that's beautiful. That's what I wanted. This also needs 40 people. You know what? I'm actually gonna cheat here. Because there's no reason to have a dedicated train for this. I'm just gonna use this train for both. Since the path is so short, that shouldn't be an issue. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put the small station connected with the sawmill. Hold on. Yeah, let's put one here and one here. Our bridge across the rails. Then one here and one here. I don't think we need more than these two. We loop this into the warehouse. That means drives out. And drives in. Oh, look at that. That is so streamlined. And now we just gotta see how we get the people up. Let's pull one out here. Like this. The only downside of doing it like this is that if you see here, this is now one block. So if a train is just driving through in this direction would still be blocked. Just for safety reasons, because there is no physical stop here. So what I can do is I can put this here, just so this is not interrupted. So now if it wants to turn left, it would stop here and only cross if this is not in use. And then we need to put another here to block this off. Let's just connect them over here. Same here. Then one we don't need. And that means they both come in here, so I just need my chain signal, the exit, and back into the train station. Yep. So now this one we need to send back into the depot. Is that here? Yeah. Because we need to put on another card. And yeah, let's go set up the train for this. Actually, let's go set up the route first. The HR route is now gonna get a new location to Sawmill 1. Where do we put this? So out of the city. You know what? If we do the coal first, then I don't need to cross this at all. That is a much nicer solution. Yeah, look at that. Okay, so now, so first to the city, then up to the sawmill, and then on the way down past the coal mine. And that means we just need to connect this with this. Yeah, that looks good. So through the city, up to the sawmill, back down past the coal, through the coal mine, past the sawmill, and back. Perfect. See, okay, that is still heading back to the dock, to the train yard, so that will take a little bit longer. And welcome back, Eternal. You know I can't head pet you. It's. Where are you? I'll head pet you during. Wait, you don't even have a head pet during your stream. Why not? I expect a head pet during Eternal's next stream. Oh, that is simple. I can actually show you. Essentially, all you have to do is you just add a. Absolutely. This is actually an offer for everyone. If you want to use Meep, if you want to use Sammy, if you have OBS issues, I'm not a pro in any way. I'm not an audio or video engineer. I'm not a Twitch partner. I might have a Twitch hoodie. I don't have anything else. But I will be more than happy to teach you anything I can. And with Sammy, I'm getting there. Oh. You're horrible. Stop making me blush. I don't even have a blush emote. So I'll just blab for you. God, this music is so good. I could listen to this all day. It's also good music for this because you never know if it repeats. It's like these songs, it's like elevator music. They just play in the background, they flow in. Okay, there it is. Come on, you can do it. You're nearly back. Let's actually speed it up a little. Whee! Okay, now let's edit this, and all we need to do is add one more passenger wagon and send it back on its way. That's all that was needed. And let's make a sawmill train. We really only need one for this because, I mean, it's not very far. Yeah, I need these, so let's do 4. And I still gotta set the route. So we make a new route. We call it wood to warehouse. From sawmill 1 to warehouse. And we add the same wait condition here for time passed. So they wait at least 30 seconds rather than driving empty. That's it. And I just need to update this. Gotta keep track. Okay, now I'm just gonna wait until my human resources train here has completed the first circle. And then I can send this off. That should be good now. Since it will take a while to get down here anyway. Yeah, it goes all the way up and then past the coal mine, since that is the only way to actually connect here. I suppose there is no reason not to just make a connection here. Yeah, why not? Let's just here. Yep, that works.
This looks like a really ugly intersection. Let me fix that. Because now we should remove this one. Is that what I wanted to do? Yeah. No, actually here. This is the one I wanted. So now here it can decide where it goes and then doesn't block for long. That's what I wanted. Now let's watch our sawmill and make sure that works. It only has 30 people. Why does it only have 30? Oh, yeah, because we don't have enough people. That's why. So now we're running into workforce issues. No, we shouldn't. Oh. Oh, it's probably because of how offset it was after I sent the train back. So the people that were exhausted were more exhausted than usual. So now there are less. But yeah, we definitely need more houses. Because now we don't have enough workforce to keep things going. So let's give the city another 10 here. And then we need another water tower, so we have this covered. Okay, that should do the trick. And it looks like we might actually need a second fishing dock now for the extra people. So let's add that too. There we go. Now that should take care of the fish, and the other stuff will get bit by bit. How are 165 people working? Where are they working? Well, I suppose in the city. How many are working here? Okay, so yeah, those are 40 people already. But they are now we're getting there. So I do need 80 people in here to be able to fill the train by the time the train comes around. I think that should be good now. Yeah, that looks good. And that train looks good too. So yeah, our next task is to get to 400 laborers to get potatoes. Because surprise, eating fish all day long gets really, really boring. But these are all maxed out. So if I want 400 and then I need 70 more, 70 divided by 15 is 4 and something. So let's build... You know what, let's just build let's just build another block up here. Yes, I know they want roads. There. Okay, that should easily push us to 400. But I'm gonna take a very brief break because nature is calling. And that also gives me a chance to finally show you my BRB screen. Oh yeah, right. Hold on, that doesn't have music. Ah. There we go. So yeah, I'll be right back. Yes, you were. That's the recording. Me? Totally not.
playing video games while not at the desk. But yeah, I'll be right back, just using the restroom. Hey, don't judge how I play. This was a really good game of Popeye. I actually beat the high score in that game, so shush. But yeah, I'm back, if you didn't notice. So let's go back to chess. And yeah, to quote Kid arguing about the BRB screen, he said, you know, there are Galaga and Pac-Man, and what do I play? Popeye? Yeah, I do, because I like the shitty games. Good games are boring. Everyone has played Galaga and Pac-Man. And I actually don't like Gauntlet. Sorry. I was never a Gauntlet fan. I think the problem with Gauntlet is that I grew up with Diablo. Diablo 1. And like I played the older arcade games, and it's just it I don't know. It's like as a person who likes old games, I wanted to get into Rogue. The Rogue. I can't. I am actually not a Rogue-like fan. I like Rogue-lights. I like permanent progression. I'm fine with dying over and over again if I get something out of it. So yeah, stuff like Immortal Redneck, the very well-known, obvious one,
that just got a sequel that I completely forgot about. 2 words. Side-scroller, Rogue Legacy, thank you. Yeah, those, absolutely, love them. I never finished them because I just am shit at jump and run games. Yeah, I didn't see a platformer yet. It must have been faster. But yeah, I'm not good at them, or I'm just not dedicated enough to play them long enough to get good. I think that's just my issue, to be honest. Yeah, it's my understanding is if you have unlocks that make the next game easier, then at that point you kind of call it a roguelite. Dick Duck. I mean, it's a classic. It's an inflation classic. What are you gonna say about that? The first furry inflation fetish game. But you tell me that Dig Dug is not an inflation game. I'm sorry. That's the whole goal of the game. Just inflate everything until it pops. It's a fun game. It's a fun arcade game. It's, you know, in today's world, the question is, where does it stand? Does it still stand? But it's an arcade game. It's essential. Q-Bird, on the other hand, I'm not sure I would call essential. Q-Bird, in my opinion, was like the first development of what later on would be used in games like Resident Evil. And I'm gonna let that sit for a little, that I just compared Q-Bird and Resident Evil. But the reason is actually quite simple. It's a game that played with difficult controls. A main part of Q-Bird was learning how the controls work, so you can play the game. And that is something that games like Resident Evil used, even though they didn't intend to. So, like in Resident Evil, one of the main aspects is that you have tank controls. Those tank controls will slow you down, make you miss, make you less efficient, but they are such an integral part of the game that they are a big part of the horror of it. Yeah, oh my god, your controls are so bad you didn't hit that zombie in time. But this gives you the stress, the pressure that these games live from. And that's why if you look at, say, Resident Evil 4, the famous GameCube one, and its horrible controls, but that's what was essential for that game. That game needed horrible controls, so it's more scary and requires more pressure. That's kind of what it feels like. Feel free to argue with me on that, but that's what it feels like. And Q-Bird to me was always that. Q-Bird was just a game that made controls difficult, so you primarily learn how you can actually control the game before you win. I mean, that's not an uncommon strategy if you look at pretty much any beat 'em up. It's learning to control the game is something that I feel that all the casual games have taken away from us. They, in most cases, are just straightforward and easy. Why is there no wood here? And yeah, I played it a lot because I owned Q-Bird on the Atari 2600. Monday's conversation, yes, I had an Atari 4800, which was the sequel, which was significantly better, long story. But I played Q-Bird, I owned Q-Bird, and I just didn't get the point. I played it, I would say a few hours, because I really wanted to understand it. It isn't fun to me. It's... yeah. Now let's see, what is happening to my wood here? Why is my wood... but it is unloading. Where's it going? What is it being used for? Why do I have an upkeep? I feel like this is something that I need to understand to continue. Yeah, you might see that at this point I'm now getting to a point in this game where I stopped last time and decided this is a really good streaming game. And now I just gotta figure out Well, I'll simply assume that this 38 is just my default upkeep. Probably for the city. Do these require upkeep? Oh, I see. You can actually... I didn't even know that you can actually add passenger transport as well. I mean, it makes sense. Is this it? Yeah, there we go. So this requires upkeep. Okay, so all the houses do require upkeep. I see. So one house is 1 wood per minute. Yeah, I know you don't have a chop. We'll get you a chop, don't worry. So, do I need a second forest? No. No, I think that's fine. We have a 60 production and a 38 upkeep. How's the coal? So coal... Exports? I wasn't aware I'm exporting. That might just be cars that refilled here. That's probably what it is. Yeah. I would take wood immediately. If you have a... Maybe not a train load, but if you have a massive load of wood... We actually have a wood stove. I'd immediately take it. Now what we're gonna do... So since they now want potatoes... I'm gonna put the potatoes over here. Because then I can use the HR train to also do potatoes. I hope that's not gonna be too much. I hope it's not gonna take too long, but I think since it's on the route, that shouldn't be too difficult. Yeah, I think that's a good spot. So, potato. It's a funny word. Yep, look at transporting potatoes to a village. Let's put it out. Yeah, maybe not that far away. Actually, let's put it closer to the train tracks. So I can just send the train over here. Oh no, not depot. I need a small station. And... how do we do this? Yeah, let's do this with one... No, not this. I need this. Let's do this with one central... So we have 2 train stations, 2 train stops. Actually, not sure what you want to call them. There we go. That way it... Oh! Oh, jeez. Okay, that scared me. Hey, Mr. Vice 2K. How are you? Okay, maybe my follow alarm shouldn't scare me, but hey, how are you? Thank you for the follow. If your Moxie ever gets a heart attack, it's probably during a follow. Yeah, come on in, enjoy the stream. Enjoy some relaxing music and trains. Well, at least you're having fun when I'm getting scared. That's something. Oh wait, no, I didn't want to build a... Okay, now let's see how do we do this. We put one here. Yeah, that's perfect. I'll leave it right like this. Now we just need this here so we can build our bridge. And that's all we needed. Now that means poor little HR train is gonna go back into the train depot again. And we're gonna tape on another cart and the potatoes. So see, now here we have the first issue. Because neither the potato farm nor the city is gonna car, not Karth. Don't tape on a Karth to my train. I'm not sure he's gonna like that. But yeah, we now have the issue that neither the potato farm nor the city is gonna have coal. So... does the warehouse? No, the warehouse doesn't store potatoes. Because potatoes are not a building good, so they don't go into the warehouse. So my option is to... You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna change this a little. Let's first see where's our... Yeah, let's get this updated. Let's get the passenger train updated so we can get that sent out. So that now gets another card. And this gets another stop at the potato farm. And that should be in the right order. Yeah. So you can go again. And what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna implement a helper. And let's... this is weird. So I need a place that has coal. That means either probably the warehouse, because the warehouse is the central part. To deliver coal down here. So it can go up here, down through here, down here, and then I just need to loop this back. So if I just put up here, and then loop this back into the train station, that should be all that's required. Let me see how that turns out first. The signals. Yeah, let's just add coal warehouse to potato. So that would be warehouse to potato farm. Down here and back up. Yeah, that looks perfect. So for that we just need a small train. That means we need a locomotive, coal tender, and let's do 2. There. And go. Okay, and that should do the trick. It's not meant to... Oh, did I set it to... Hold on. Yeah, it now wants to load potatoes. So we gotta make sure it knows... No, I didn't mean to... hold on. I didn't mean to trash that. So, warehouse, load, coal. Potato farm, unload, coal. Let's see if it does what it should do. Let's see, load. Why didn't you load? Oh, because it's going to the potato farm first. Why is it... Oh god. Oh, because it came this way around, so now it... Ugh. Yeah, because it left here, it drove through here, so it took this, so now it has to go all the way around so it can actually start its path. Ugh, good thing that only happens once. Whee! It's gonna run out of coal before it ever finishes its first track. That's still 41%. So now let's see. So yeah, it heads over. That can be done a bit more smooth. Yep, load coal. And unload coal. No, where are you going? Oh wait, right. I don't need it at the sawmill. I need it here. Wait, it didn't do anything. And there is no fuel here. Oh. There is no fuel here because I have no room for fuel. I actually need to build coal storage. There, now I have room for 200 coal. So, slowly we're solving all the problems. Let's see, where is my HR train? That currently has 120 people. That is perfect. So let's see. First stop coal. That's where I get 40 exhausted. Then second stop sawmill. So another 40. And potato farm for the last 40. Yeah, that looks good. But we did not bring any potatoes to the city yet. So we still need one more. Oh, this is gonna be a very ugly one. Oh boy. Let me fix this first. Yeah, that is better. No reason for that extra loop if they don't need it. Let's see if we... Oh, I didn't even build a potato farm yet. Or potato storage. Here. Let's store potatoes. And then let's farm potatoes. That helps. Oh my god, I want hot potato stew. You made the Moxie sad. I want like a pumpkin cream soup or a hot potato stew, like something wintry and warm right now. That would be nice. Yeah, speaking of which, we should probably make sure we order some stuff soonish. Our kitchen is relatively empty. Like, unless you want pasta or rice, you're not in good company in our household right now. We've been a bit lazy with keeping our food stocked, but I mean, it's good for diet. Okay, so taters to the city. First to taters and then to the city. Oh, look at how ugly this is. Wow. That is a very, very easy fix. Oh, not like this. There. Behold the beauty I have created. Yeah, if we pull this up and here, there we go. Look at this. It's like the best shortcut ever. Hey, Mr. Wise 2K. How are you? Thank you so much for the follow, first of all. And yeah, welcome in. Let me know if you have any questions or, you know, that's what I'm here for, essentially. I'm here to entertain and help with Sammy and anything you have questions. Oh, ask away. Ask away. I shall try to answer all the questions. Oh, I've never worked with blueprints, so yeah, this is where the fun starts. Oh, these are nice. Look at this. Okay, but now let's see. I didn't... Good question. So the way I run my coal, let's go through how I run my coal. So I have two paths. One is I have two trains that move from the coal mine to the warehouse and back. So I always have coal in the warehouse because that's kind of like my basic supply, I would assume. And then the second issue is that when trains stop at a station that they have no fuel in, so for example, the sawmill has no fuel, they can run out of fuel and then they don't work anymore or work very slow. The problem I have is that the potato farm here has a train that only needs to go from the potato farm to the city back and forth. But neither of them has coal. So the only option I have to actually keep this train, not this train. Oh, I didn't make a potato train yet. To keep the potato train filled is to make sure that one of the stations it stops as actually has fuel. So the only other option I have is, if I don't want it to just circle here, is that it could, say, go up here and refill. But I feel like this is so pointless to send it all the way up here to refill. So right now, I mean, I'm not sure if it's less pointless to have a filler train that just runs around and delivers. I'm still relatively new to the game, so let me say it like this. If you have a better idea, please shoot. Because I feel like this is gonna be horribly convoluted when it's done. But we still gotta get potatoes. Yep, these are potatoes. Let's just do 3. I don't think we need more than 3. And taters to the city. Let's see, this should work as is. I am tempted to move that helper train and later on deliver to the city rather than to the potato farm, because let's face it, if we need it somewhere, it's probably in the city and not here. I feel like right now, because I only need it in this one location, that's still fine. There we go, fresh potatoes. Okay, so now they are gonna get their fill here, and that provides another 5 people. So it means now we have 20 per building. Train from coal to your main village. Yeah, I've been tempted to send it to the city. That's kind of where I wanted to switch it later, and I feel like it makes more sense. So yeah, I do have one to the warehouse, so I have the supply there. And yeah, I think that's a good point. Let's build the coal storage here. Let's see, that should be about 200. Oh, 420. 420 coal. I'll take 420 coal. That's a sign. Okay, so now I just need the coal helper. Yeah, and I'm gonna... Let's pause it here real quick because I want to take... Now, okay, that's a point, yeah. I suppose that's where the extra came from. It's okay. Actually... Yeah, I suppose then let's get rid of these because I would rather spend that room on more efficient things, and I think 200 is enough for now. I don't think I will need 200, more than 200 anytime soon. So if we add this, then we just gotta figure out... Oh my god, this already looks so bad. This looks so horrible. Yeah, how about everyone just closes their eyes for a moment? While I build... Oh my... No, I can't do that. I can't do that. That is... I'm not even sure what that is anymore. No, not all of them. I just want 2 here. One rail and 1 station platform on each side? Really? I was not aware these actually... Huh. I was not aware that they affect the loading speed. Ugh. Oh, you're completely screwing up my playthrough. Go away. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Yeah, I mean, I can make another one here, that's no issue, but... Okay, let's start simple. First of all, I need to figure out how I can do this so it doesn't look quite as ugly. I see no option other than to have a crossing here. Oh, this is so ugly. I don't want this. I actually don't want this. Oh god. So wait, warehouse. If it goes down here, how about? How do we make the connection here? It's a lot better. No, downward facing. So through here. And into here. Ugly, but works. Works better than the last one. Let's just tighten here a little, so we don't have too many delays. So it can go to the warehouse. And then it can go back down. I think that's actually... Yeah, that is good. That works. That works. Okay, so load coal, unload. I'm gonna put the coal in just for making it nice and clean. Okay, but that also means I can get rid of the coal storage here. So I'll simply assume that you've had your fair share of playtime in this game so far. I can actually look how much playtime I have in this. I know I have a lot more playtime than it looks like. Let's see what Steam says. Yeah, that's kind of how I go. It's I've been up to this point. Oh, looks like Steam no longer wants to work. There we go. I have 21 hours. 21 hours. I've never played past this point, truth be told. I've never played past the potato farm, because at that point it always looked like crap, and I had the urge to restart and actually make it pretty. And this is by far the prettiest playthrough I have yet. Though I definitely need more stations over here at this point. Yeah, I feel like I want to redesign all the stations, but I'm not going to do that now. I think this is good for where I am right now. Oh, stamp upgrades. We didn't even talk about stamp upgrades. You can collect stamps, and you get stamps for... Here, you get, for example, 1 stamp for every 8,000 wood you produce, or 8... Is it always 8,000? No, not always. The advanced have less. And you can actually use these to, well, in a nearly roguelite manner, upgrade your playthrough. This is kind of what it feels like. The upgrades feel like they came from a roguelite. Like, you literally just, you increase your storage capacity, you increase your production capacity, build range. Like, these are all not really game-changing things, but they make it easier because I can build longer trains, I can, you know, build more. I feel like it's a little bit of a time gator to make sure that you don't advance too fast. But, oh, I don't have enough for that yet. Well, warehouse build range, settlement build range, or production facility build range. I don't really need either of those right now. Oh yeah, actually, I started with one here because there's a second coal mine here. Yeah, the distribution centers, they work in a very weird way. Like, it takes a while to figure out how to set them up, because one thing this game has is that you can't build something that's associated with a building unless you select that building. So for example, it took me a while to figure out how to build a road. There is no road here. To build a road, you select the distribution center, and then you have the option to build the road. The same way, if you click the train station, you have the option to build the platform. So you even see that in the city. I have to select the city center so I can build the city buildings. It actually took a little bit to figure out. Yeah, once you set up the distribution centers, do we need more? Nah, not at this point. It says it's too low. I suppose no harm in adding the second building here. Well, you know what that means, little HR train. You go back to the train depot, let's add one more card. And then let's add another coal mine here. That's the one. There. Then that just needs its own storage. And then we just need to build the distribution center road. There we go. Yeah, that's to be a bit more to explain a bit more. That's actually one of the issues I did in my early playthroughs. I used the distribution center to immediately build big. You know, why build one sawmill if I need to expand this later? Why not build 4 sawmills in a nice circle and a distribution center in the middle? And if you build too vertical, too fast, you run out of people, and it works a lot better if you build slow and steady, is my feeling. And that always benefits me. I'm more a slow player when it comes to these things. That's actually one of the main reasons why I always shy away a little from playing these games on stream, because I always feel like the way I play them has to be boring. Like if I watch people like Schmoops and his playthroughs of RimWorld, where he literally just goes into the deep end head first, I don't think I can do that. That is not how I would play. I want to advance slowly and steadily. And I always feel like that has to be boring. That's kind of why I picked this game. That's exactly what I did, Mr. Wise. That's exactly what I did. Just build everything and then delete it, so I know where it's gonna go later. But by now I have a good feeling of where I want to place it, so I think I'm fine. But yeah, it's just... I know that's exactly the issue Kit always has. We kept talking a long time about how much I want to see Kit play Stellaris. Or play, you know, Europa Universalis or Crusader Kings, any of the Paradox games. Because, let me ask like this, how much playtime does your Steam say you have in Stellaris? 200 hours? Yes, if you don't yet. Actually, let me do the other one too. If you don't follow Kit, though I'm not sure if anyone in here isn't, follow them. Amazing, cute, adorable bean that's currently in the process of understanding Semi so good that when he comes back to the stream, he's gonna blow you all away. Is that about right? And yeah, it's kind of where I see it, Mr. Wise. It's like I want to watch people play, but every time I watch someone play, I then look at... I love the Klitsch. The Klitsch is a good pup. But then I look at how I play and I just feel like, well, why would you watch this? If you can watch Schmoops murder whole raid parties, well, I'm just looking at trains run in a very dumb circle. That's kind of what I do. Okay, but I think this all works now, so... Yeah, we have everything on the rise, everything they want, and everything I can do right now. So let's move on to the next step. A market. What is a market? I don't think I ever built a market before. A service building that provides inhabitants with a place to gather and trade. Most village buildings cannot operate without one. Okay. Ah, so that's essentially where you get potates. Right, no, you already have potates. Let's see, where do I have to place you? Oh, that is a nice and far reach. Yeah, I think that's a good spot. Da-da. Da-da. No excuse. Come on, tell me, how many hours do you have in Stellaris? Even if we accept that you sometimes AFK for half a day or you don't do a lot, I'm kind of curious. We won't shame you. Oh, I see. Oh my god. One 1,347 hours. Well, I mean, let's do a comparison here. So, Stellaris release date was May 2016, and Team Fortress 2 released October 2007. So, with a 9-year head start, you only have about 450 more hours. I'd hurry up. Like, actually, right now, just go play Team Fortress 2, because at this point, he's gonna catch up to you. Okay, what is your most played game? I don't think I ever asked. Okay, now we need to place a market over here as well. Oh wait, yeah, right, I need to mark this city for that. I place one here, and I'm just gonna build the houses in that direction. I think that works. Oh yeah, it's probably Blush Blush. Let's just be honest, it's probably Blush Blush. Please say it's Blush Blush. Oh right, you play Warframes through stream. I always forget about that. So how many hours do you have in Warframe? Now we're squeezing all the info out of you. Jeez. That is actually really interesting because Warframe also tracks the time that you actively play. And I think last time we checked, what was it, like 2,000 something? So that would mean that you play about 40% of the time that you're in the game, which I think is surprising. Yeah, I'll be honest, I'm a huge Warframe fan. I think I have somewhere around 1,800 hours myself. It's grindy, yes. But if you like the playstyle and if that's what you want, then it's a perfect game for what it is. It's just, I can log onto Warframe and then suddenly notice that maybe I should log off or I'm not gonna go to work. I gotta play Blush Blush again. It was a good game. And if you're gay and you're furry and you don't play Blush Blush, I don't know what you even are. Definitely not gay and furry. No, Blush Blush, if you've never heard, is the male version of Crush Crush, the idol dating transformation sim. Feel free if you have a better categorization for that. Oh, Bob. Let's not talk about furry feet. Let's not talk about furry feet. There are so many weird furry fetish games on Steam, it's just... I actually briefly considered during my talking about games that released in the beginning to pull off the joke that I wanted to talk about one more game that released on Steam called... I can say this on stream, can I not? Oh, let me get the name right. The game is called Repairing Uranus? What was the full name? Repair Uranus, Exploring Black Holes for Adults. I was briefly considering just adding that to the list of new releases and just blurring my screen. But when I ran the test, even through the blurred screen, you could see things that I am not happy to show on stream. So if you want to prepare Uranus, you gotta look at that game all by yourself. I'm sorry. Yeah, that does sound like you're talking about catalysts and reactors. So, for those that don't know Warframe, a catalyst and a reactor doubles the mods that you can put into a weapon, respectively into a Warframe. So it essentially makes you be able to be stronger and do more, but you either have to buy them with real money or you get them from weekly and recurring drops and specific things. They are drip fed, so you don't get a shit ton, but if you don't play like a nut chop, you usually get enough that you can survive without ever having to pay a single cent. When I played Warframe, I never paid anything on a pay-to-win basis. Let's just call it that, because Warframe does let you buy frames, it does let you skip progression by paying. Never paid for that, never had any issues with it. The only thing I paid for is appearance and to literally support the game, because I think it's a good free-to-play game. It's one of the few that are still out there. Well, we did enough zooming in and zooming out without doing anything, so let's work on our population, since that seems to be the next task. Just need a few more. Where do I want to put these? I feel like we should move downwards too. So let's build a street here. Let's put a dozen here. I always feel like dozen is a nice time to pause at. And yeah, if you're willing to spend time grinding, then you'll never have to pay a single dollar. Then you can really do it. The problem is just that they do make it appealing to spend money. They are good at that. And I mean, well, they kind of have to. So if you are someone who has troublesome spending habits, if you are someone that, you know, doesn't play gacha games because last time you did, you bankrupted yourself, then Warframe is not a game you should play. Because it will always tease you with, hey, you could spend $150 on this. It's really nice. But as long as you have it under control, as long as you know when to not spend money, it's a good game. 670, that's not gonna be enough to get us to 800, is it? Actually, it might. Oh, that's a good question. Nearly. All but this guy. What do you do when not? Do you just build a second station? I feel like that's the only thing you can do. Let me see. Yeah, let's add Wait, why do I have 2 water towers there? That makes no sense. There. Ah, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense that we get more. I assume for that I need to build stone, though. Yeah, let's build... this, if we just do double roads here, there, that works. And then build another 12 here. And you just need a water tower. Okay, yeah, we have a few that are just barely out of reach, but I don't think that's gonna be an issue right now. And there we go. Quarry, Stonebridge, House of Worship. Requirement signal? Only allow trains to pass if they fulfill a particular requirement. Length, cargo, or speed. So I can... Oh, that is interesting. So I can like have a fast path. Oh, that is... I'm not even sure what to do with that. Like, just looking at this suddenly feels like mind-opening. Oh, they have no work. I think it's time to... Wait, why are you exhausted now? 99%. So this is really just hitting the exhaustion mark by like 1 minute. Well, I mean, I'm gonna upgrade both the sawmill and the potato farm and the coal mine. So I think we need to split this train now. Ah, and that's a good point. Yeah, I could just make sure that, for example, as the trains come in here. Actually, let's take the coal as an example. I think that's a really good idea here. So as the coal comes in, you can sort. So say this lane is only for coal. And because this traffic light would be blocked, this light would then be blocked because this train wants to get here. So you can really make sure they go where they need to instead of blocking both here. Yeah, I can definitely see how you can use that really, really nicely. Okay, but how about we split this off right away? We're gonna... No, not you. Where's our HR train? Oh, there it is. You go back to the train depot again. We're now gonna split you apart into 2 trips. So we're gonna... this is just gonna be coal. But it needs 3 wagons for those 3. Not wagons, wagons. Is it wagons? Is it a train? What do you call these? No, not 3 wagons. I am not sure what we would do with 3 wagons. There's no cotton candy left after that. Carriage. 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 Maybe I should make an English class instead so you can teach me English. Okay. So yeah, we have 3 cards, HR coal, and then HR sawmill taters. I mean, theoretically, if I make 3 each, then I would need 6 here. Is that gonna be an issue? I don't think so. Well, this is actually not bad. But, you know what we're gonna put in here? I want a circumvention route here. Because there is no reason that trains need to go through the train station that don't need to go through the train station. Yep, there we go. So now it goes to the city and then up through the, or past the train station to the sawmill and to the potato farm. Oh, Jakey. Oh, thank you, Mr. Weiss. Oh no, that's actually correct. Yeah, that is correct. It just needs to be switched. The train needs to be switched. But yeah, Eurovision, I will. We are a household that actually watches Eurovision every year, and we actually have a Google Sheet that we vote on every year. We are very dedicated. Yes, we are. And this year is actually going to be Eternal's first year watching the Eurovision. He's really excited, I heard. Eurovision is love. It is the best family tradition. Yes. In the past we always watched it on BBC because it was a really good English broadcast. Period. Even if, let's face it, Graham Norton does not feel like he wants to do that anymore. I'm not even sure he feels like he wants to do anything anymore. He's just being pulled along. And then we watched Peacock last year and this year. And I love Johnny Weir. He was perfect. I'm sorry, but it was perfect. And yeah, Graham Norton, it's every time a song comes up and this is so bad in this way, and and the kids and their music. He's just old and grumpy. Where Johnny Weir was amazing. Johnny Weir, he's I will simply assume a gay, very colorful, very... Well, it might. I actually stopped paying attention. I gotta check. But yeah, he's a very weird, very colorful, very fabulous person. And what else do you need for the Eurovision? You need someone like that. Okay, let's first do the HR, sawmill to taters. So, workers. That is correct. HR to coal, workers is also correct. Let's get this going again. And I need... This one needs 3, so that goes. And then we need a new train, dub, with 6. I hope that's not a problem. No, it is a problem. Then let's go first here. And which one was the maximum train length? Bloop. Is that enough? Wait, how do I... Can I? How does this... Wait, can I not extend it? Do I actually have to tear it down and build a new one? No. There has to be a way. Yeah, but I have a train in there. I don't think I can destroy it with a train in there, can I? Probably not. Let me see. Yep, nope. So you're gonna... You know what? You're just gonna drive in the circle for a moment here, because I do not want to delete you. We're just letting you drive out. And we're gonna delete this. Yep. And then we're gonna build a new one. Oh, it's... Let's try again. Yeah, I think that's what it is. Let me remove this one here. Yeah, I think it just doesn't want you to connect it right to a track. Wait, this isn't even longer. This is still 10. I suppose 10 plus 5% is not 11. So let me see if I can... it connected automatically, yeah, so that's probably why. Okay, you go back. Back to the train depot. Yeah, that's what I think, so... Come on, come on. There you are. But yeah, that means we only have 5. You know what? I don't think we need 6 because this is such a short distance. They are not all gonna be exhausted by the time they are back. Pretty sure at least. So let's give this a try. Let's see, so... Enough people to fill the train, that is good. Now we drive past the warehouse to turn around. And to Sawmill 1. Yep, and to Potato. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is totally fine. I don't even think we need those 5. 3 would have probably been good. I don't think we're gonna replace that many. So now I just need to upgrade these. You know what? We can rename you because you're no longer true. There, now you're true. And now I think all of them are correct. Load and unload. Wood to warehouse. Yeah, those are all correct now. So, let's... I suppose let's tear you down. And then build a distribution center here. For which I don't have enough wood. Yeah, it's just 1. But yeah, I now have... I can't build the distribution center because I don't have enough wood. So I don't see an alternative to just rebuilding the sawmill and letting it run for a little until I have enough wood. There. And then do the whole thing again. Yeah, that's the main issue. And because I was resetting the workers here, I didn't produce wood and am now nearly out of wood. Oh, I see. Yeah, there's a missing signals. So let's rebuild our wood storage. And I should really start with coal too. You know what, let's do coal first. Since I already have the train with 3 carts heading over, upgrading coal should be easy. Or it's not, because it's outside the distribution center's range. So I also need to rebuild this distribution center. Should I write a list? Like, should we create a to-do list at this point of all the things that need to follow in order? Oh, okay, let's first get some wood done. Let's see. Yeah, this is a bit of a problem here. That because I have so many houses, I now use the wood faster than I produce it. So I need to stop here. Then destroy this. And then build a distribution center before I'm out of wood. So let's get rid of the sawmill. Then we have the distribution center here. And now we rebuild one here. One, yeah, here, and one here. Then they get their own storage. This is where I'm starting to make it a bit more visually appealing. Because this is now gonna be a final build. There we go, and now each of them gets their forest. Let's start with you here. I'm gonna do it from here upward first, then we do you over here. There, a bit inside. And then you over here. And then we can just fill them up. There we go, 120. And 120, and you get this corner here. There we go. Now those all have enough. That should do the trick. Now the question is this big enough? Those are 60 each, so 240. Yeah, that should be enough. That should be enough. You know what? This one has no right to drive through this train station. There. And just in case, let's also connect it here. Actually, we can just... Oh, yeah, that works. Okay. Now, once the population starts working there we go. Now let's see, this should really help with the wood. I might just need to get a second wood train. Yeah, looks like. Do I need a second train or do I want to make it bigger? I mean, I can really only add one card, so... Yeah, I need a second. Nope, I gotta go here. And then we can copy this train. There we go. Oh, you actually heard it? Yeah, I have a sleeping puggle behind me that currently dreams that he's a wild, vicious animal and keeps dream barking at whatever agitates him right now in his sweet little dreams. He's a very vocal little dreamer. Never sure if that comes through on the stream. Nice, and that one circumvents the station now. That makes the traffic a bit easier here and circumvents the potato farm. Okay. So now, yep, now potatoes. Oh, and fish too. Fish is bad. Fish is going down. So we need to... There we go. Now, I don't think this affects efficiency. I don't think there is like a... Yeah, I don't think they crowd each other. At least I don't see anything. Okay, but now fish is going back up. So next step, let's triple the potato outage. Output. Do we need an extra here? Or is 3 enough? You know what, we can just upgrade that to 5. That is not gonna harm anything. And while we do this, let's tear down the farm. And then we need a distribution center. And no, there. Like I said, this can you tell me if you have that issue too? To me, these are just not recognizable buildings. Like, show me a tree, show me a potato, show me a piece of coal. Don't show me the building that produces it. If you look at this, and you look at this, and you look at this, these 3 buildings to me have no real discerning values. I mean, yeah, okay, this has a hole, so it looks like a train comes out of here, and this doesn't. This has a closed door. I do really wish the iconography was a bit more clear. I think that's the only thing I don't like about it. That it always takes me too long to find what I want to build. And that might just be a me thing. Okay, now. You have your storage here. And you have your storage on either side of the road. And then you get your potatoes. Yep, that's perfect. And then you get your potatoes. Perfect. And you fill in the rest. There. Yeah, true. It's... Eventually you remember, but I've now had 30 hours in this game and I still don't remember where they are. Oh boy, I think it's getting time to improve our stations. Look at this. I already have a traffic jam here. Let's see, where's your workforce? There it is. Oh, no. Only exhausted people. Oh, because I just built the farms, so... But now we need to see if this actually is able to accommodate all workers. Replaced 120. So it replaced every worker. I don't think it always replaces every worker, does it? Because, yeah, that would mean this doesn't work. Because now I only have 80 workers left. Let's see if this repeats itself. I was kind of hoping that not everyone would be exhausted and some people would stay at work. But now I'm not sure that's actually a thing. Because they are not exhausted right now. They are working full on. But, yep, it replaces all of them. Okay, that means you go back to the station. And I need to switch HR to only do one of them. And then do a second one for this. So, city and taters. Oh yeah, I sent you here because I wanted to give you more cards. You've just been here for like the last half an hour. There we go. And then I need a locomotive, tender, and 2 because I'm gonna steal 1 from the one that's coming. And that will be the taters one. So now let's just wait for the last one to return. Nope, that's not it. Hello? You didn't even return. Did I misclick or something? There we go. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna move. Come on, get in, get in, get in. There we go. See, I'm gonna move 1 over here. And actually, I only need 3. So those 2 should now be good to go. So now if everything works, it should be good. Let's take a look. Let's see if we see any traffic jams or other issues. Okay, so yeah, this one. I don't like this one. Oh, that's okay. So yeah, now it's really just about improving. But I think we do have a good basic run. We don't have enough workers? No, we don't. Why aren't we producing 300 wood per minute? Over 300? Why are they at 69? That is... Oh, 60 per minute and bonus probably. So we would need like 5? Yeah, give or take. Yeah, I don't think I need to do this anytime soon. I don't think we need more wood right now. We need more coal. Yeah, I know, I'm not gonna argue with that. So I think what I'm gonna do here... I don't like this. No, I'm gonna ignore the coal. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna open up like a new coal line to up here when I need more. No, I think right now everything is working as it should, so we can now approach our next goal. And the next goal is to build a quarry. Yeah, let's first upgrade. Warehouse? Was that the warehouse? Warehouse build range, settlement build range, production facility build range. Hold on. Does this include the distribution center? I'm gonna give this a try. And then warehouse capacity here. I think that's the smartest. Let me see, because if this includes the distribution center, then I would be able to build the other coal mine here. Nope, does not include. Yeah, I think it tells you like how much you use and up, but yeah, my feeling is that this is off the second you're full, because I'm not producing 15 right now. I'm just out of storage. So I feel like this is only half useful. Like, it's useful if it goes down, if you know that you actually do less. Like here, this to me looks like I should open up another coal or I'm gonna run out. But at this point, this just feels like... I'm not sure it tells me anything. Okay, how are we gonna tackle that? I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna completely ignore this down here. And then... Hey, done. I'm gonna call this a lie. This is not a first time chat from Dunn, but I was gone for so long that I think it doesn't remember you anymore. I do, that's fine. I remember you. Hey Dunn, how are you? Yeah, no, it did the same when I ran a test stream on Sunday to see if everything works. Eternal and Dalton were both in here, and Dalton had a first-time chat and Eternal didn't. I don't know how it works. Maybe it's really just if you haven't said anything in 6 months, which sounds about right with how long I've been gone, that it then resets. No idea. But yeah, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm not gonna work on the quarry right now. And yeah, I'm just gonna do a new approach up here. So yeah, welcome to the stream, Dun, Brian, if you've never seen me before. How could you? I'm currently playing Sweet Transit, which turns out has nothing to do with cotton candy. It's just such a lie. But it's about building and transportating. Wow. Yes, it's about transportating. Here, I'm doing it myself. We just had that conversation about wanting more transportation games. Like, I want a Euro Truck Simulator in the Wild West. There's nothing else to explain. There's nothing else to add. We had that conversation when Eternal was playing Red Dead yesterday. I just haul goods, travel to cities, make deals with bandits so they don't raid you or raid someone else, supply weapons to bandits, you know, lie to the officials on having been raided or attacked, slowly increase your storage and everything. Exactly what we wanted to get out of Arc Age. And then Arc Age became one of the most let down MMOs ever. Just absolute nightmare. I was so hyped for Arc Age. Like, there are not even words for how excited I was for that game. And then it came out and we never even purchased it. That's how bad it was. One example, if you've never heard of Arc Age or if you've never looked into it, it was a game that had amazing ambitions, like a full legal system where if you are seen stealing apples from your neighbor's apple tree, someone could literally call the cops, you could be incarcerated, you would have to appear in front of a jury run by players that decide on how long you have to be in prison or what you have to pay. You can be a criminal with bounty hunters hunting you down, you can build your ship and travel with goods, you can have a donkey to carry your goods, you have missions to carry goods from A to B to support other, groups and people, and amazing game. And then it came out and it received so little love from its developers that it was non-functional. For one thing, they turned it into such a pay-to-win mess. Nope, don't have that one, sorry. Right now, the only one I have is this one. But yeah, it's kind of exactly it. It came out, first of all, it was hilariously pay-to-win. Like, you could purchase materials, you could purchase building locations, you could purchase speed ups for building, you could purchase for this, you could spend money so you can play more, because if you play a specific amount of time you no longer get resources, you have to pay money to get more. And even if that would have maybe been forgivable, the game itself was just... There were exploits on such an epic level that you could do whatever you wanted. You could copy items, you could reproduce items, you could do everything. It was Arc Age, such a painful memory. Let's just put it on the list of really, really painful MMO memories together with, I don't know, Tabula Rasa, Ion, Sims Online, Motor City Online. So many little niche games that would have had a chance if the publisher / developer wouldn't have been greedy as fuck. Oh yeah, exactly, everything, it doesn't matter. It's... If you wanted to cheat and you ever wanted to just play a game for YOLO, then Arc Age is a really good game for that. Oh, are they? Are they actually? Like, this is a serious question. As someone who played the secret... TSO. No, what? TSO. Wait, what is TSO? Oh, the Sims Online. Right, there. They do? Sims Online is around? Are you serious? This is the first I've heard of it. The Sims Online, also known as EA Land. Oh my god, do you remember when it was called EA Land? Was a massively multiplayer online variation. Yeah, they released, EA released it in 2002 and shut it down in 2008. Yeah, I was not aware that's still fan run. Really gotta take a look at that. It died a quick death officially. Because... I'm not even sure why. I don't actually know why Sims Online died. It just... I don't think it ever lived. That's more it. It's like Motor City Online had a life. It appeared in magazines and I remember people playing it and having fun. I am the only person I know that played Sims Online. I mean, at this point I expect Dan is gonna correct me and is gonna be the second. Or, yeah, like I said, so many games. Freeze. Okay, I gotta write that down because definitely have to take a look at that. Freeze is a re-implementation of The Sims Online in using C# and monogame. Yeah, speaking of which, December 17th, based on the freeso.org website, marked the 20-year anniversary of The Sims Online. Yep. I feel like at this point we're just watching trains move. I should start build a quarry. No, I need to... That was what I wanted to do. I need to expend coal. So I'm gonna start... Is this the best spot? Yeah, I feel like this is the best spot. I'm gonna put another coal mine up here. Let's place... Those are nicely connected. So if we put 5 here... You know what? I'm gonna build those 5. I'm gonna do what I always say I shouldn't do. But I'm gonna set this up nicely. I'm just not gonna connect the roads to the other 2. So we can keep this... Yeah. No, Sims 4... It's painful. It's... if you aren't aware, Paralives... Let me actually put that in chat. If it ever makes it, then this is the only game that has a chance to replace Sims to some degree. Because it's small and because it's indie, I don't expect much, but their aspirations are massive. Yeah, the last one they posted was actually in September, where they showed the seasons and stuff. The problem is, if you look at the developer is called Alex Mass, and that usually gives you an idea of how many people are involved. I don't think there are a lot of people involved, and this game has been in development forever, has no announcement, but eventually. Yeah, it did. I didn't look at it yet, because... Let's take a quick look. Is it? Oh my god, it's mostly positive. Paradox released DLC that is 72% positive. Is it okay if I'm mildly shocked? I mean, I'm sorry, I love Paradox. I love that they support the games that I love. But their DLC policy is just, I have no good words for it. I really don't. One thing they should do, and they should have done long ago, and they now finally start doing that, is just make it a subscription model. Just let me pay $9.99 a month, and I get my Crusader Kings and Europa Universalis, or I suppose one or the other, with all the expansions, all the DLC done. They now did that with Crusader Kings 3. So how much does this cost? So you can now subscribe to Crusader Kings 3. Wasn't that it? Or was it Europa Universalis 3? Yeah, oh, CK2, right. Because CK4 isn't out. So Crusader Kings 3, which came out in September 2020, doesn't support that. But you can get Crusader Kings 2, which came out in 2012, for a $4.99 subscription, which then includes all the DLC. Why? Am I paying $4.99 a month for an outdated game? It might be, but if it is, then the DLC isn't. That's just the issue. The DLC is never included on Game Pass. So you really only get the absolute minimum. I hate it. Yeah, it's... like, I love all the Clausewitz games, even though I don't play them. I love them for what they are. Just this grand strategy. You don't get that anywhere else anymore. But I hate their business model. And that's coming from someone who literally owns every DLC for Prison Architect, for City Skylines, and for probably several other Paradox games. Because, well, I support them, I just hate it. Yeah, I'm actually surprised that it's so positive. Yes and no. Prison Architect isn't a Paradox game, but it now gets Paradox DLC because Paradox bought it. So if you look at literally all the DLC that came out in the last year, it has Paradox stamped over it with so much force that I haven't... it hurts. The DLC that comes out just loses a lot of the Prison Architect touch. Kind of sad. Okay. Now if I built a station here... Yeah, I think I'm gonna build it out a little and then just build the street going up to it. That makes it a bit nicer. That way I can have... Yeah, let's put some extra coal storage there, more for looks than anything. And now we're gonna try building a smarter station. So let's see if I put a dozen here. So if I want to load them from each side. Yeah, fun fact, I actually own the name in-game version of Prison Architect. I kickstarted it. Dear gods, I don't even know. I remember when I kickstarted it, I got the game, the name in-game, and a Darwinia poster for it. So that might date it a little. Like I remember at some point they then sent me a Steam key. I didn't even originally have it on Steam, so the Steam version I have is pretty old too. I don't like this. This is horrible. Look at this. Why would I want this? No. No. No, I don't like this. Let's try this again. There. Now I think I'm gonna make it double, like this. I just feel like this looks better. And hopefully it won't cause too much trouble with the loading times. But we're gonna... Yeah, Introversion is a really interesting story. For those that aren't old enough, Introversion created really unique games with a team of give or take 5. And then they started building Prison Architect. Just a game with aspirations so far bigger than anything they've ever done. Darwinia, in comparison, was tiny. And essentially, they ran out of money. They were on the verge of going bankrupt. The only reason they survived is Steam Greenlight. And they openly admitted that Steam Greenlight was the best thing that could have ever happened to them because it helped them to survive. It gave them... You know, it gave them an audience. People suddenly saw this game that's in development and that's slowly getting to a really nice point. And thanks to that, they are still around. And then they sold their baby to Paradox. I'd be curious to know how much Paradox paid for that. Okay, how do we sneak this past? I think through here. Yep, and this one takes this path. Yeah, I think that looks good. Okay, now, next step is we need a way. I don't want to drive all the way around, do I? Let's see. So we need a way from the city to here. I could just take this angle. Because then I don't have to go straight through. I think that's not bad. I think that is justifiable to just grab it here and... Oh, no, that was... Should have come in a bit earlier. Yeah, let's go past here. And There we go. Now let's remove this. Yeah, I'm definitely curious about that. Bad Wolf. Bad Wolf. I like Bad Wolf. We should call him a Bad Wolf. I actually managed Box Wolf. I actually managed to convince Eternal yesterday that we're gonna play GTA Online on a user-made server. Yes, we're gonna play GTA RP. So if you have any interest in GTA RP, oh. Well, we're not playing it today. Oh, if you find me a furry RP GTA server, I'd be game. That sounds like fun. That sounds like quirky and dumb enough to be fun. Now, last time I played on a GTA RP server, I actually was a delivery driver, delivering mobile phones to mobile phone stores. Had a really nice apartment and all. And then one day, someone actually kidnapped me and murdered me. Yes. It was fun. I was left to die in the middle of a street and just bled out for about 40 minutes. So let's see. So it goes up here. That is fine. This looks so weird. But it is efficient. And I can't... Because of how this is built, I can't come in from the top. So I can't, like, go in here because there is no room through. This is all locked off. If I wanted that, I would have had to build the station differently. No, I think that works. I am gonna clean this up a little though. There, that looks a bit better. And then we can remove that. Whoops, that. And then we just need to feed this back down. Okay, how do we do this? What if we just abuse? Why not? As long as only as... No. No, we're gonna build a single one going through. Because I want this separate. Yeah, we're gonna build a straight one through that goes and hooks up here. I don't like it, but I would imagine that at some point I get access to bridges. Hopefully soonish. Because these crossings are extremely painful to handle. Oh, no, this one. To handle in a flow. Let's move them as close as I can. Yeah, wrong one. And downward. There we go. And then another one here. And in the middle. Those we automate. Those we automate. All the way up to here. Perfect. And then all the way back here. There we go. Another one here. So now this goes up here. Then we need a chain here to normal. To chain and a normal. So now let's see if this works the way I imagine. We're gonna make... Yeah, we're gonna start with a new HR Coal 2. So that would be city, and let's rename that station because I built the station before I built the coal. So it's not connected. There we go. So yeah, this will now only swap workers, and let's see. Yeah, I think we don't need this straight through. I don't think this is gonna make such a big difference. Let's just take a look at how it works. And then we need... What did we call the other? We called it coal 1? Nope. 1 to warehouse. Coal 2 warehouse. So this would be coal 2 to warehouse. Same condition. Wait at least 30 seconds unless you are full. And then we need to make a connection here. No, not here. Here. So the coal goes down here. And then needs to go up this way, up to here. Yep, there we go. Now let's add another traffic light here. Why do I call them traffic lights? They're not traffic lights, they're signals. We're driving trains. Chicken thighs. I'm getting hungry. I ran out of time this morning to still prepare everything, so I ended up just mixing a bottle of Soylent, and it's still standing next to me. I haven't even touched it. Oh, I should order takeout. I'll order it for you, and then I'll eat it for you, and then I'll tell you how good it was. How about that? Now, we gotta send off a Walmart order anyway. We're currently without car because our car is kind of falling apart, so we're not using it. So we decided to just switch over to Walmart home deliveries for, not sponsored, $150 a year. They will carry all the stuff into your home, put it in your fridge, put it on your counter. You pay the same as in the store. And I'll be honest, those $150 I spend on car and car insurance and fuel, I love it. I love it. Walmart in-home delivery, I'm sorry, half the shit hasn't worked out. Yeah, this is actually an upgrade. So the Walmart delivery for $98 a year existed, but they now have Walmart in-home delivery, which costs $50 extra. But A, you do not get, what are they called? You don't get Instacart employees. So the employee that comes to you is a Walmart employed full-time employee in a Walmart vehicle. And they come in Colorado, plastic bags are now illegal. So he comes with a huge container, rolls it up to your door, and then unloads the container directly onto your counter, into your fridge, wherever you want it. Like he literally carries it into your living room if you want it, and then leaves. You can't tip them. You're actually not allowed to tip them. That's a big part of the in-home delivery, that they are fixed employees that don't receive tips. And that kind of makes it really nice. Where, you know, if you order the normal... Yes, exactly. Yes, exactly. Instacart. The first time we did an in-home delivery, it actually failed because because we had a huge snowstorm on that day. So, yeah, I know. I let him put it on the counter, but that's all he does for me. Like, please don't open my fridge. I don't want strangers to see my fridge. It's not like my fridge is dirty or messy or has fungus growing inside of various kinds. No, it doesn't. Just my fridge does not look like the fridge in a sitcom when you open it. It's not clean and sparkly and everything is nice. It's crowded, it's messy. I just don't wanna. Yeah, shaky, exactly. The first time we actually ordered that delivery, it failed because we had a huge snowstorm on that day, so Walmart canceled on us, and we needed stuff. So we did the normal delivery, which is Instacart. And immediately we got phone calls because she couldn't figure out where we live. Then we got, she wasn't even in the correct area. She was completely, same issue here. We live in building F, as in Foxtrot. Yes, huge. That's what Walmart called it. Come on, be gentle. Yeah, we live in building F, as in Foxtrot, and the only way you can identify that is by a very small sign that hangs far above the building and is not visible at night. So the navigation always leads you to the entrance of our apartment complex, and our apartment is exactly on the far end. And that's the nice thing about the in-home delivery. You always have the same driver. He knows where you live. He knows how to get there. And they will, call you if anything is wrong. They are really dedicated to making that good. So, actually, yeah, it worked out pretty well. Yeah, we're finally on the ground floor here. I mean, I do kind of regret it because it's the building we're in has, well, we have someone living above us. It's a standalone building, but it has dedicated entrances. It's essentially apartment home. And the person above us has a small, please don't take it as an insult, but I friendly call her an elephant child. Because despite the fact that it's like an 8-year-old girl, the way she walks through the building just makes me assume that she transforms into an elephant whenever she wants to. That's kind of what it sounds like. And a few weeks ago, they had a party upstairs that was actually so massive that they broke lights in our ceiling fan. Literally broke lights in our ceiling fan because our ceiling fan was shaking so much. Yeah, same issue. Shaky, same issue. I have never lived anywhere in America where I didn't have issues receiving packages and letters. I've lived in a standalone house that they wouldn't find. I've lived in apartment buildings that they wouldn't find. I've lived in apartment buildings where they would just deliver to the wrong door. We had an Instacart delivery that delivered over $300 of groceries to a door over 100 meters from here, so over 300 feet. We literally had to go there with a cart to try and get the stuff back to our house, which, oh boy, so many broken eggs. This was a nightmare. Yeah. Okay, but I think this works. So the coal to warehouse. I don't like how it crosses each over like an 8 here, but it works. I'm gonna leave this. And this can be deleted. And HR. And that works too. The only worry is that this is too long. That, yeah, they actually, I contacted them and they refunded me the yearly fee of $100 and then said they will also refund me the purchase, but then I had to contact like the store and oh my god, things just didn't go well. Long story. Eventually it worked out, mostly. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna go with that and see if it works. So we need with coal tender and 5 carts because the coal is gonna have 5 in the end. So that's HR coal 2. And then we need train with coal tender and let's make 5 too. I don't see why not. And make 2 of them. And those are gonna be the coal 2 transporters. I'm gonna fire this one off and then we'll wait a little. And then I'll fire this one off. So let's see. Let's see how long the HR train takes. It came here first, so it's gonna take an extra turn. I am mildly entertained to read this, Shaky, because the fact that you have exactly the same issues. Yeah, they don't contact the store. They tell you to contact the store and handle it with them. But they were able to refund the yearly fee of $100. I was about to say 1,000. And I mean, it's not like we lost all the food. We just, frankly said, dropped a lot of eggs because the only cart we have is a big plastic cart that's actually meant to move moving crates for whenever we move. It's not something that you can easily transport goods in. So if you roll into a pothole, a bag falls off. So that's where oh my god, we spread so much egg yolk between that house and ours. We still saw the white stains on the street like weeks later. Let's not talk about that. Okay, so yeah, we have a problem. Because you can see this train only has 80 people. That means it's enough to run 2 of them, but not all of them. You know what? Screw it. I'm gonna extend this. No, not with a rail. I'm gonna extend this right away. There. And then let's work on the population to get that up. And yeah, it's like not necessarily a dolly, but it's a 4-wheeler flat plastic cart. So say 2 big moving crates would fit on it, or if you want to move say my tower. I don't know why, don't ask me, but my PC case is the size of a window mounted AC, and it has room for literally 3 PCs. The problem is it weighs about close to 100 pounds, so that's kind of what I have this for. To just transport stuff. Or like I have a monitor stand with 3 monitors mounted on it that by itself has close to 100 pounds. Just to move the heavy stuff. We've moved, I feel like I should count, but we're around the 18th move now. We've moved so often that I don't want to anymore. Yeah, we had one of those small little collapsible wagons while we were living close to a supermarket, and we're using that instead of a car. So much. It just finally broke apart after the last move. Yeah. But yeah, Soylent. I am a big fan. Right now we're using a mix of Soylent and Mana. Sometimes I mix a little bit of Nesquik in hot chocolate. So it has like a little bit of a strawberry or otherwise flavor. Sometimes a bit of sweetener, sometimes various flavors. We always mix our Soylent on our own. So it's always around. I mean, I wish I could say it's there so I have a diet or have calorie control, but in most cases it's just because I'm lazy. I'll be dead honest. If I don't want to make food, it's so much easier to just push some powder and water into a bottle and mix it real quick than it is to, you know, make something, especially before the stream. Oh, I've broken so many leases. It hurts every time. It's so painful. We once moved into a apartment home in Ohio where we paid $680 rent per month. Like, amazing. Beautiful. And then 3 months into a 12-month lease, I had to move all the way across the state, all the way across the country to Colorado to move into a tiny apartment worth $2,000 a month, and had to break that lease and paid like $3.5 grand or something. Oh God. Then we moved out of there and immediately had to break a lease again because we had to move again. And yeah, I think we broke. Did we break 2? Yeah, I think we had to break 2 leases. And it's never fun. It's always... Okay, looks like I really have to work on upgrading my train station game here because this is getting painful. But I feel like the upgrades will have to wait until Friday's stream because this is gonna be a huge endeavor. Just renewing everything. For now, I just want to know that this works and that we have... Yeah, we don't have enough workers. Yeah, all of this now needs an upgrade. Like, I need a larger city. I need... Ugh. Yeah, I think that's for the Friday stream. I don't think I need to fix all of that today. So my big question is still... Wait, where is the HR train for this? Where are you? There. Yeah, so really the main issue is that this is not gonna suffice. It's bringing 68 people. Let me see if these people are exhausted, and these people are already exhausted. So what I need is I need a second train that drives offset to this one. Yeah. So I need a second... Oh, let's write a list. So I need a second HR train for this. I think I need to redo this station. I don't like the way this station flows. And I need to redo this because we're now getting traffic jams here. We're also getting traffic jams in the city, and it needs to be bigger. So the only that really work are these two. I think they are good, even if I don't like the way the traffic is routed. And the coal is good, even though we don't use that anymore. Yeah. Yep. Well, I'm definitely starting to love this game. I can see how complicated this is gonna be. And if you just take a look at the research tree, then you can see how far we've made it. So let's see, we've made it past the wood. We've unlocked the quarry but haven't built one. Up here. Okay, so those are just appearance items for producing more fish. And then we have stone and clothing and bread. What do we have here? Oh, new trains and craftsman. Meat. Steel and diesel. I see. Hops and beer and cheese. Paper mill. Books. And then the last train. So this is... Oh, and then each city has its own tree too, I see. Oh yeah, that was right, because we need the population. Oh boy. We need more potato trains. Look at this. We're actually running out of potatoes. Yeah, and we're running out of coal. Well, not anymore now. But we did, so that was definitely starting to be an issue. And we're still running out of wood now and then. Yeah. Looks like we have to absolutely upgrade everything. So now it's time to start building vertical. But not today. I think for today, that shall actually be enough. Why isn't it turning off? Hello? Oh, there. Gotta turn the right one off. Haha. Well, you get more wagon, but you know what the wagon has to do when it's time to chat?
yeah, it feels like it now plays a second longer than it did on Monday. Well, I suppose semi. I gotta take a look at that. But that shall be it for today. That was my Wednesday stream. So yeah, first of all, thank you all for coming. Thank you, Mr. Weiss, for following and for, giving me a few good tips. It's nice to see someone else playing this game, because the main reason I played it is I didn't see anyone playing it on stream. It's such a good game, and it doesn't yet have the audience it requires. So definitely nice to spread that a bit. We'll probably be back to this on Friday, or maybe Stardeus. I still don't know. I call it Stardeus because it feels like that's... Or Stardeus? Like, is it Latin? I don't know. I wish someone would tell me how to pronounce it. But that's maybe the game on Friday. If you haven't seen it, just imagine any of the recent spaceship builder games, but in really big. The spaceships are massive, the maps are massive, and everything is very slow and very steady, exactly the way I love it. So this is 100% a me game. Like I said, I'm just not sure if my playstyle is too boring. That's always an issue. But yeah, we're gonna be back on Friday, and on Friday, our stream's subject is always the future. So where on Monday we look back at retro games and the past, and on Wednesday we look at current releases and what just came out. On Fridays we look into the future. We take a look at trailers for games that are not gonna come out for years. We look at what the market does, how it's gonna go, and what we're afraid of. Not loot boxes anymore, that's one thing, because I think those are completely dead now. But yeah, that will be the Friday session. And because your Moxie doesn't work on Fridays, Friday will also be a recreational, drug-friendly stream. So if you ever felt like talking about upcoming games, talking about how bad some games are, and just getting drunk and having a good time into the Friday, and you can, then I'll see you Friday. And yeah, once again, I can only thank you all for popping in. I hope you had a little bit of fun playing trains. And no, I don't get drunk and trucked when working. I don't think I would work efficiently if I would do that. I wish I could. But yeah, working in a company where I know that some people do get drunk while working, usually company sponsored. Nope. I don't know how people do that, and I don't even go to Christmas parties because I'm afraid of getting drunk among people I don't trust. And nothing against my work, I'm not sure I trust being drunk around a lot of them. There's one exemption, and he knows. I would say let's take a look at who's... Look at who's around. Schmoops. Sounds like we got a raid of Schmoops. I'm not sure why I'm shouting him out. Maybe just to make sure that this time I spell the name correctly. Yes, okay, it is the right one. Because if you weren't here on Monday... Well, actually, if you were here on Monday, then I apologize. I hyped the raid and then raided the wrong person who had no subscribers and never streamed. So if you were confused, I'm not surprised. But yeah, thank you all for the amazing time. I hope you're gonna have just as much fun with Schmoops. But I mean, of course you do. Schmoops is one of the most loveliest beans out there. So say hi, and no, we don't need a raid message, we're fine without. Just send Schmoops my love. If you want to have a raid message, then just throw all the emotes at him. All of them. Yeah, okay, that works. I'll take a walk and raid. But yeah, once again, thank you all, stay awesome, and see you Friday.